According to Washington State University, music might be the most restricted and licensed area of copyright law. It's historically caused a lot of headaches for content creators and anyone else who wants to include music in their projects.
It looks like we're in a really creative business. Oh, you guys have a music platform, you're a music company. And in reality, we're licensing music for use in content. So we really created this business to try and solve the problems around the complexity in copyright. My name is Evan Buist. My company is called Melodie Music, and my role is managing director, in brackets, founder.
Melodie Music was founded by composers, musicians, and sound designers, people without backgrounds in business. As the managing director, Evan here had to learn on the fly. Unafraid of his first idea failing or a big meeting falling flat, Evan Buist shows what it takes to go from artist to founder of a global brand. So, what does Melodie Music have to offer?
Any kind of large creative tech platform, the whole of Silicon Valley kind of realm, these platforms with users, we integrate into their platforms. Their users can search and integrate music into their content. User-generated content, it could be a video, it could be a podcast, and then they get access to this copyright-safe music for their content. So we have both the upfront fees that our users pay us in order to license the music, but then when our music is broadcast on television, we earn a royalty known as a performing rights royalty, typically film and TV. There was 15 composers to start, and now we're up to 100 composer users. They're from all over the world, all styles of music, extremely high quality. We're striving for all kinds of diversity, from gender to ethnicities to LGBTQI, because we believe through diversity in our composer base comes authenticity across all styles of music. We have two core products, which is both the Melodie platform, where you can search around and listen to music and, click genre and mood and all of that jazz. And we also, in the last year, have built an API which connects up with creative platforms. So our mission, I would say, would be to empower creatives with really easy access to great music.
What is the history of how Melodie Music came to be?
My background is in audio post-production, music composition. I wrote jingles for quite a few years in Australia, which is where I'm based. Moved on to do audio post for some big companies like National Geographic, Fox Sports, over here a lot of the broadcasters, and have been pretty much a lifetime freelancer, dabbling in side hustles, as we call them. I created a startup business called Need a Jingle in 2014, which was a crowdsourced bespoke music platform whereby we grew to around 700 composer users who were pitching on advertising briefs. It was a great little business, however, not hugely profitable, but very benevolent for emerging composers. The big takeaway from me for that one was the lack of curation. So I grabbed that idea and thought, okay, let's try and make a profitable version of this that's still benevolent for, composer users, but is of more value to our clients. So took that, purchased a code base from a company in Germany, tweaked it out with all of the search features that I knew would be, useful for end users based on my experience in audio post-production and writing music for TV, and that experience on both sides, both as a music creator, but also working with producers and editors to place music in content. Teamed up with a company called Uncanny Valley in Sydney, a very successful bespoke audio and technology company, and we created Melodie.
Music licensing was originally designed to work for the rights holders and the rights holders only. Most copyright laws were written over 100 years ago, and experts today state that the current legal sets are at least 20 years too old. And that's just not working anymore. With current complications, creators either have to use royalty-free music or royally pricey tunes. There aren't many good in-between options. Evan's first go at a music platform, Need a Jingle, also focused on empowering creators. Melodie Music is based on Evan's lessons from that platform, using what didn't work the first time to rebuild a new, seamless business model. Can you tell us a bit about how you find composers?
The vetting process is extremely important. We say no more than we say yes, which is unfortunate, but it's the reality, and it's how you have to do it. So, we have an application form on our site where new artists can submit music, and then it just goes through a series of listening and feedback and everything. And hopefully at the end of the day, we get to a set of tracks, and then we have a new artist, and then we work with them moving forward as much as possible. There's no term deal or anything, so we don't own any of our composers, and there's no commitment from their end to really do anything. They like to submit, really, is the way it works. So we do it in two ways. They'll either submit a set of music, which is something like an album, 8 to 10 tracks, and we'll acquire that, and that'll go in the catalog. Or alternatively, we work with some of our bigger broadcast clients on their broadcast productions. So if we have a big show that's coming up, 10-part series for National Geographic on whatever, we'll brief that out to our composers, and the ones that are interested in submitting that create music that is relevant to that show, we'll submit. We'll acquire maybe 100 tracks, 800 versions or something. We'll curate it, we'll put it in playlist, and then we'll send it to the client. And I mean, the composers that we work with, like even our clients will have favorites, so that they'll go into the catalog and they'll say, oh, I really like that composer and that composer. And sometimes instead of typing in aggressive rock, they might type in the name of the composer and then look for what they want, because they really trust the brand of that composer. So if they want bespoke music from the composer, or if there's anything that we can do, to assist above and beyond existing catalog, we always do.
What were some obstacles you had to overcome as an entrepreneur?
I didn't have, experience in fundraising at all. I never went down the MBA route. So there was a lot of learning for me, a lot of reading, a lot of, understanding, acronyms and terminology, and even just that whole business sphere and knowing how people interact. So huge amount of learning involved, and it was a great process. I always say being a startup entrepreneur is like the university that you probably should have done, but even more powerful, because you learn such a breadth of topics, and you have such an amazing foundation of knowledge at the other end of it. I went to dozens of meetings and tanked the first few for sure, but took away some great learnings, and with those learnings, the next meetings were better, and I had answers to the questions that I may not have had answers to in the beginning. It's all a learning curve, absolutely.
What does the future hold for Melodie Music?
So it's taken us, we're 4.5 years in now. We started with pretty much no music, no customers, and now we have a great catalog that satisfies all of our customers. We have a lot of, big name customers, and we have what is effectively a library, and also new industries keep popping up as well. There are opportunities in Web3 that we're looking at now that could materialize in the next 12 months. So we're looking at the traditional parts of our business, specifically film and TV and our enterprise API, but we're also, open to other areas. There's definitely a place in our industry for NFTs. It's kind of exciting, actually, to potentially have a decentralized trackable system for music copyright. But we launched in the US in January this year, and that's our big push for now. So Australia, we have done really well, and now we're just looking to replicate that in a bigger market. And Australia, just for reference, is 3.5% of the global market. The US is 50%. So we're trying to just do what we've done in Australia and replicate that over there, where there are a lot more libraries. So, it's an uphill battle, but we're enjoying it so far.
What Evan said about the US accounting for 50% of the market means that even just a fraction of Melodie Music's success in Australia could seriously multiply their revenue and reach. That's much easier said than done. To give an example of the inevitable challenges of doing business internationally, Australia only has one primary sales tax system, while the US has over 14,000. Thanks for sharing your story, Evan, and we wish you all the best. Finally, do you have any advice you can offer aspiring entrepreneurs?
I would say do a lot of research. Fail to plan, plan to fail. Cliche, but so important, really. Just remember that. If you don't do your research, you will fail. There are things that you will not realize, and they will bite you. Look at people that have been successful. Look at people who have not been successful. SurveyMonkey is free. Don't forget that. That's cool. Advice from my dad way back at the beginning, just be everywhere. Talk to everyone. You don't get anywhere by sitting at home, which is very obvious, but get some advisors on board. The more people that you have that have genuine enthusiasm for your idea will help to snowball it from the start. And it's very lonely and thankless if you do it by yourself. So share it around and work with great people who are better than you at the things you don't do well.